Beneath the lush jungle surface of the Yucatan Peninsula lies a vast, submerged network of limestone caves. Cenotes like this one act as the few isolated bridges between the sunlit world above and the underworld below. Past these entry points, the light abruptly vanishes. Plant life ceases to exist. The environment becomes completely dependent on whatever scant organic material washes in from the surface. Yet navigating this pitch-black void with complete precision, we find the apex predator of this ecosystem, a pale, eyeless fish known as Astyanax mexicanus. Survival in this void depends on a fish's ability to manage perpetual biological starvation. This extreme scarcity makes a specific phase of this fish's early life highly unusual. Inside their eggs, these eyeless fish actually begin growing eyes. But by day 5, the process reverses. The eye tissue actively breaks down, and a thick layer of skin permanently seals over the empty sockets.
Biological tissue requires calories to build. A highly specialized organism expending those rare resources to construct an eye, only to intentionally destroy it a few days later, appears completely counterproductive. The answer lies in the harsh mathematics of the cave. In total darkness, evolution stops operating like a designer and starts acting like an accountant. Vision is an incredibly expensive sense to maintain. For a young surface-dwelling fish, processing light consumes up to 15% of its entire resting metabolism. In a subterranean river, where the next meal might be a single rotting leaf or a speck of backguano dropped from the ceiling, carrying a 15% energy deficit is a death sentence. To balance the budget, the fish rely on a process called methylation. Instead of altering their genetic code, they attach chemical tags directly to their DNA, acting as a dimmer switch to silence the specific instructions for eye development. Silencing these genes prevents the visual cortex from forming, which frees up a massive 30% of the brain's total metabolic capacity. The fish's blindness is a highly calculated, life-saving biological budget cut that ensures it can survive the famine of the cave. By deleting its visual cortex, the cavefish yields a massive surplus of energy and brain space. This surplus is immediately reinvested into alternative survival tools. First, it eliminates the standard 24-hour biological clock. Some cavefish stretch their internal circadian rhythms to 47 hours, severely reducing their resting energy expenditure over time. Second, it hyperdevelops its lateral line sensory system, instantly upgrading its ability to navigate and hunt strictly through fluid dynamics. This imagery reveals the microscopic neuromast receptors along the fish's body. These enlarged structures allow the fish to feel the exact water displacement of a struggling insect or a jagged rock outcropping in total blackness. The fish trades the ability to perceive light for a highly refined, hypersensitive physical map of water pressure, allowing it to feel every ripple in its vicinity. Far to the south, deep within the Brazilian Amazon basin, we see how this saved evolutionary budget can be spent in entirely different ways. Here lives Eigenmania vicentes pelea, a distinct species of blind cavefish. Instead of maximizing touch, it invested its metabolic surplus into boosting its electrical organs. It navigates the murky, pitch-black water by emitting invisible electrical fields. By modulating the amplitude of these signals, it can communicate with other fish through solid rock over long distances. Researchers observing this ability to alter another fish's behavior from several meters away through solid barriers have likened it to quantum entanglement, describing it as spooky interaction at a distance. While one species hyperdevelops touch and another channels electricity, the underlying economic formula remains identical. Sacrificing sight is the price of admission to the cave. Zooming out from individual species, a much larger global pattern emerges in these dark ecosystems. This is a prime example of convergent evolution, a phenomenon where entirely unrelated species independently arrive at the exact same biological solution to survive the same environmental problem. This map shows over 200 species of obligate cavefish, originating from 10 completely unrelated biological families. All independently became blind and depigmented. From Thailand's waterfall climbing loaches to North America's amblyopsids, The biological audit forces the exact same outcome. While the specific sensors they develop vary, these unrelated lineages face the same stark trade-off. Every spare calorie is stripped from vision and reinvested in the dark. Over millennia, these fish have achieved total mastery over an entirely static, stable environment. But that extreme evolutionary specialization comes with a fatal catch. They have traded all biological flexibility to become perfect in the dark. They possess absolutely no defense against sudden environmental shifts. Even the paralyzing beam of a flashlight from passing ecotourists can completely disrupt their hypersensitive adaptations and drive them out of their safe zones. More severely, their existence is intimately tied to highly localized water levels. Human agricultural extraction and surface pollution can easily seep down and wipe out an entire endemic population in a matter of months. The cavefish has successfully conquered the most resource-starved, unforgiving aquatic habitat on Earth. But its continued survival now hinges entirely on the world above leaving the lights off.